in St. George, Utah, Center for Spiritual Living. Yeah, I'm excited. Welcome. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. Yes, we'll hold you in our hearts the way you are. Hello, let's get Reverend Joe Kovach up here. What do you say? Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or not.
Good morning.
You know I come from education. It's a call and response. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. And good morning to everybody online as well. Thank you so much for being here. It is still blowing my mind. I know I say this all the time, but this year, which is 2 weeks away from being over, doesn't that sound like crazy that it could even be that close? So I just want to say thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us. And I would like to know if there's anybody brand new that would like to be acknowledged as being brand new. Good morning. Would you like to share your name?
My name is Lisa Lake.
Lisa Lake. That's an easy one to remember. Welcome, Lisa. May I ask how you heard about us?
Chris McCardle is a friend of mine, and I used to live here, and I'm here now while my mom is going through some illness. So.
Okay. Well, we all love Chris, and so he's our biggest word of mouth marketer for sure. And thank you, Chris, if you're listening. And well, we will hold you and your mother in prayer today for sure. Thank you for joining us. And did you want to just share your name? Jamie. Okay. And I'm hot. Can you turn me down just a little bit? Thank you. No? Good. Nice to meet you both. So practitioner Bill Smith has a little gift for you, and basically what it is a past, what do I say? Magazine, yeah, but past issue. That's the word I'm looking for. I have issues. Now you have an issue of Science of Mind magazine. And just to give you an idea of kind of our thoughts and so forth, and there's also one of our newest pins that we handed out at our installation meeting. So feel free to wear those proudly. And if you have any questions at all, please see me afterwards. And welcome to everybody. And while we're doing that, hey, we actually have more of a balanced room today. Y'all still in the back, but we're filling it in. That's all right. Good morning.
Are you infectious or something that everyone's sitting so far?
I know, like maybe it's the scary goatee now. I don't know. So why don't we do this? Let's have Alan come up and play a little instrumental while we get to meet and greet for a minute or two, shall we? So please introduce yourself to your neighbor or just share some hugs and love. All right, all right. Always a good time to share. I mean, that's what community is all about, yes? So in case you weren't online, we have made some slight changes to our regularly scheduled program. So we are now going to, I'm going to introduce practitioner Stephanie, and she is going to share some announcements with us.
Okay. There's no Zoom after today's conversation. If you just want to follow the prompts, I'll just kind of reiterate them, but you guys read them, okay? So December 21st, we're having the Grinch Within, and it's a surprise, and so I invite you all to come because we're all involved. And the holiday celebration is also going to be a potluck afterwards, so bring whatever you want to bring. And
we have pianist Mark Boggs playing for us afterwards as well through the whole service as well as afterwards, so we'll have some sing-alongs.
Cool. All right. So yeah, bring your friends and bring your favorite dish. And the winter solstice event is the same day. So it's an all-day event, so to speak. And so at 4 o'clock, we'll meet out at Kayenta and do the solstice walk, and it'll be a beautiful experience. So I invite you all to come. And we've been letting the whole community know, so. And a drum circle. Oh, and a drum circle is going to be there. So bring your favorite gong if you have one.
If you don't, that's okay.
Yeah. There's going to be 2 upcoming in-person services, so next week and the week after, we are all going to be coming here, which is new for us because we've only been doing every other Sunday, so it's nice to get together in person. And our practitioners are available for a moment of prayer. There's some folders back there. Stand up, I forget what they're called. And yeah, we can do some private prayer for you. That is no problem whatsoever. You can reach us online. And we have a bookstore in the back that is ready and grateful that it's there. We can just leave a donation. They are our used books. And there's a basket back there that you can just leave a little something for your book, and then if you get done with it, bring it back and let somebody else read it. So at the 3rd Sunday of every month, the fourth Sunday of every month, we have Sue Fulmer, who will be getting up shortly. And she will share with you her experiences in the book that she's written that's online on Amazon, and it is really, really marvelous. So welcome to that. Join us for some woo-woo, and then now we're going to have the lighting of the flames with Reverend Joe.
So lots of stuff happening in our community. Please continue to just show up and support us. It's beautiful that we're together so much, particularly for the holidays. And so, are we ready to bang that gong? Either way you want. Just makes louder noise. Yeah. Feel it. Oh, so we perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all things, all beings, come from one great universal presence, which we like to call spirit. We first light the unity candle, which represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. I ask you to breathe. And that breath simply just anchors it in. We light a candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle acknowledging all forms of new thought, including Centers for Spiritual Living, a metaphysical path of a personal relationship of healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the next candle for inclusivity, affirming that those that are seeking a stronger knowing and understanding of divine love are welcome here. Nothing exists outside of God. You are welcome here. And lastly, we now light the healing candle and invite you to silently offer into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they are now the perfect expression of Spirit's eternal wholeness and love. And I did want to pause before we go into the song because I forgot to acknowledge our volunteers, and that is an integral part of us and our celebration today. So we have Marina Anderson, our Core Council President, doing our wonderful tech for online, and we have Christy Ott on our audio, of course. Well, you're not a volunteer, but you're in our hearts. Alan Stanley, our musician. We like you anyway. Bill was here to help set up, and did I miss anybody else? We had no grader today because everybody was busy. Oh, well, thank you, Christy. So we owe you twice the amount of nothing that you gave. So, and if you are interested in serving, just something simple, even once a month as a greeter or whatnot, obviously it's needed because it gives people time off so they can also enjoy just coming and being served. So let us know if that's something that interests you. And now I will turn over to our amazing talent, Alan Stanley.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with myself. I will be tender with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with myself. I will be tender with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I will love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I wrap myself like a newborn baby child. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
I love that song. I've learned a lot this year about loving myself, and I do it with such feeling now. So that's a beautiful song. Thank you. I have a reading today. Kind of goes in hand with our talk. And I'm reading from the Science of Mind magazine, an article by Diana Ensign, Shedding the Skin. So if you have a chance to get this book, go ahead and get it and read it. It's a good article. I'm just going to take a few paragraphs out of it. So this was under Awareness is Key. By going deep within and listening, we can find those tender pockets of suffering we have tucked away in our hearts. Then in a sacred safe space, we can gently work on healing the wounded places in our souls. We might even decide to address long-standing traumas that down from one generation to the next. During this healing process, we can seek out our helpers, those teachers, therapists, friends, guides, practitioners who eliminate a healthy plan or a path. Although our self-transformation is an inside job, we don't have to do this work alone. Being in community with other people who are also committed to a path of healing and self-love is extremely uplifting. We all have a divine spark within. We all have wonderful, unique offerings that we bring to the world. Our beauty within is now something we can gladly share with others. Remember who we are on a soul level and why we're here. It is critically important work. When we do so, we can begin embodying light and love from the very depth of our being, which then emanates out into the world in all we think, in all we say, and in all we do. As Holm emphasizes, for only God, you, and I will ever know is the one we embody, and never forget that. And so right now I'm going to go into prayer. Knowing that there is only one mind, one infinite intelligence, knowing that I am one with it, accepting that, and knowing that that has no judgment against me or the outside world. It just loves. And as I accept that love within myself, I know that each and every one of us can do the same, because there is no separation. There is only this one mind. And so I embrace it. I embrace the love that I am, the love that shares with me its perfection, its holiness, and its love. And as I do that, it is automatically shared with the whole world. And as I see that happening, I see things happening that are revealing and closing, opening and closing. And I give gratitude that there's a law in place that sets it all in motion, and all I have to do is love myself. Love myself to the point that I know that I am loving God as myself. And so I invite that to be part of what this service is about today, about shedding the old and allowing the supple new feeling of a new being to come to fruition within each and every one of us. As I say, thank you. Thank you to the law that makes it so that I don't have to do it. It is done as I believe, as I feel this newborn baby child within myself and within all that I see. As together we say yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. You got quite a job today, didn't you? You know, I'm sitting here looking around, and it's reminiscent of what I call my early days here, about 7 years ago. And occasionally we would pack the house over there, wouldn't we, Marina? Yeah, and then those little COVID started flying around. People started ducking them, so we had to go down undercover for a while. And using the modern technology and being online and getting a new minister and a new assistant minister, things are really starting to hop. And I'm really happy about that. And we all come together more often these days, 3 times this month, so welcome all of you. And Eddie Watkins Jr. kind of penned this, that we come together in the name of love. So if you feel like it, you can stand up and wiggle a little bit. If not, that's okay too, but we do expect you to sing along. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Give it up for Ellen. Beautiful song choice today. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on? All right. So, if you were here last month when Reverend Rachel did her in-person the last week, we had two guest speakers, which was Rick and Anna Kanata, that shared their project. They took a 10-week class, and it culminates in a project of your expression of what that class meant to you, what you gained from the wisdom of the class. And that class was treatment and meditation. And we have one more person who would like to share their project with you, and it is none other than our beautiful Sue Fulmer. So please give her your attention. Is that perfect for you? All right.
Yeah. I used to sit on this when I was a teacher. Thank you. Can you hear me okay? So, starting in 2013, when I seriously found CSL, I started classes. 10 years later, and the last 2 years, very intensive classes, I became a religious science practitioner. And that's what our sign is with the stoles. I became a professional prayer and spiritual counselor, and I love this position, and I love the classes. So yes, I'm kind of done with my studies. I had taken meditation and treatment before, but it's always good to take a class again and to renew and to get to know people in the class more personally. So I loved our 10-week class. And there's always room to grow. So this is my spiritual declaration that we were asked to write in the class. My deepest thoughts about oneness have led me to this conclusion. In the beginning was God, universal energy, source, creator. The names for the divine are many. So God's energy was the only thing there was. And if not, where did God come from? Out of God, or energy, everything was made. Everything else was created. It was the only substance available. We were made from that energy, our souls, our bodies, everything. We are all made in the same substance, of the same substance. Then we are all one. And we are all individualized cells of God. Science agrees that everything is energy. Quantum physics now reveals even more about the nature of energy and the connection or entanglement of all things. If God is all there is, we, all creation, make up the body of God. In this, I find oneness with the divine and unity with all of creation. You, my dog Stormy, my obnoxious neighbor, not you, Tim, and my darling daughter. And so I pray, surrounded by the presence of God, knowing there is divine within me and in unity with you, everyone and all life. I realize the truth of my being and know that the universe is for me. All that I experience in circumstances is for me, even if I don't understand its value at the time. I pray in gratitude for life and for the peace this knowledge brings me. I release all, I surrender all, knowing the will of God is law, and the law is the activity of God, supplying only for the best and highest good. And so it is. So my physical manifestation simultaneously at the same time that we were taking this class, I was publishing my first and only book. It took me a lifetime to live it, a year and a half to write it, and a couple of weeks to get it printed. So it's available now. And this is what we're using as a guide for my metaphysical workshops on the fourth Sunday after service. Do you speak woo-woo? If you are attracted to things like past lives, near-death experiences, spiritual guides, all kinds of wonderful paraphernalia, you'll love talking with other people about it. If you don't speak woo-woo and you have no idea what I'm talking about, come and find out, because it'll open your mind, it'll open your world to the paranormal, to the metaphysical, to the things that more and more people are opening up to. And I would love to talk to you about it. So thank you for your attention.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so thank you, Sue. And just so everybody knows, we do have a class starting. I don't have the date yet for sure, but it'll be Spiritual Economics, following the book Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth. And it's not just about money, of course. It's about understanding value in ourselves and life and aligning ourselves and seeing ourselves as worthy. So we will have more information coming out, but we have a whole year of new classes coming, and I invite you all to join. So wonderful job, Sue. Thank you. And I don't know if we give you enough credit for writing a book. I've written many in my head. I don't know how many words I have on paper, but it could be a scary thing, can it not? To really share. Right, exactly. So the highest praise to you for not only getting it out, but actually publishing it to the world. So good for you, and we support you in that. All right, so I'm going to do my best to have a shorter talk today. Let's pray for that. I said I'm going to do my best. So, well, we have a fun talk title, which is From Crackly to Supple. And I chose to keep that. That was one of the ones offered by the Home Office, CSL. And I figured it was challenging enough because I don't use the word supple ever. So I've already said it 2 more times than I ever have before. So keeping in mind December, the season of winter, the process of nature itself, but we're always talking about evolution and growth. That's who we are. Everything we do is about recognizing the divine within and growth in the sense of a greater understanding of that. So this time of year, if you're like most people, your skin gets a little crackly because things dry up, and we have to do things to support ourselves to make it supple again, and that's kind of the main idea we're going to talk about today. I want to start with first a simple but powerful quote by Ernest Holmes, which is, "Life is ever unfolding into greater expression." Let me say that again. Life is ever unfolding into greater expression. So it's easy to, okay, I get it, yep, but just pause on that. Because this is an affirmation that is powerful, that we can remind ourselves constantly to get back in the flow, that life is not just happening sometimes, it's always on. And it's not just happenstance, it's intelligent. And everything, no matter what it looks like, is happening for growth. And so I have 3 short talking points today, and the first one I call withering on the vine. We all know this time of year, we take a look around and we see things in essence of dying and withering. And we can wither ourselves. There's times when we wither physically, we feel that. There's times when we may wither creatively, we kind of have blocks in our expression. Relationships may wither. And of course, spiritually. And if we think about the vine, I like to think of branches too, that when they wither, it's not that it's done anything wrong most of the time. It's not bad. It's not even necessarily defective. But what has happened was a simple natural process of life drawing back some energy, allowing it to become dormant, allowing it to move through a cycle of dormancy, which then allows it to grow into something new. And the reason this happens is because it has outgrown its old form. It has served its purpose, and now it is preparing itself for a new cycle, evolution of life, to where it will carry the greenness, the goodness, flowers, whatever it may be, into our reality. And in our lives, again, as I mentioned, we wither at times. So I'm going to ask you to think about that idea real quick. I mentioned some scenarios, but what might it look like in our lives when we wither? What can it look like? Low energy or no energy. Sickly, perhaps. Okay, so isolating, withdrawing. Okay, thank you. And again, understanding these answers are not judgments. It's just what it looks like.
Feeling less vital.
Less vital. Slower. Anything else? Desire. So the outside seems to wither. You want to go within. Okay. So some other reasons that, and those are all excellent answers again, and when we do this, we're not making ourselves wrong. It's information, and it's always, again, going back to Ernest Holmes' quote, happening for greater expression through us. So sometimes it looks like doing this something the same way because it once worked, even though we kind of know it's not working anymore. Sometimes it's holding on to outdated beliefs about ourselves and or others or our circumstances. Sometimes it may look like resisting change because we're comfortable. We're not sure necessarily what that growth may look like, this new growth, and so we kind of withhold from it. And now a kind of basic example, but it came to me, was a couple weeks ago while I was preparing to set up for the Christmas decorations outside. I had to trim the bushes because they hadn't been trimmed since for a while, and brought those back to kind of shape. And then I noticed the rose bush next to it and kind of gone through its cycle, and it had very long limbs, but they were definitely turning from a bright green to a darker brown. Some had already withered. There were the buds of old, meaning there were no petals left, just a dry bud. And what I know is that it wasn't bad, it wasn't even dead. It was just going through a cycle of dormancy, storing up energy through the winter to allow itself to bloom again in the spring. And as a gardener, and knowing the natural way of things, I pruned it. Cut the dead branches off, because if you leave those branches out, well, they're not dead, they're dormant, they're still taking energy from the whole, yet they no longer are serving it. So in essence, there's times when we have to we feel like we're withering spiritually, and we kind of have to go through a season of pruning, cutting off that which no longer serves us. And withering simply refers to what is true, being dormant. These desires that we have, we can feel them if we're paying attention. And even when we withdraw, like say, we know ourselves really, really well. We know when we're off. We know when Marina said we're slow. We know when we're not feeling so vital. And there are some simple things that we can do. Ernest Holmes says we must let go of the lesser to make room for the greater. Now again, simple words, simple idea, but how many people struggle with that in their lives, letting go of what no longer serves us? Even and especially when we know that new thing is something we desire at some level. But it takes discipline because, we live a life habitually. Joe Dispenza says 85 to 95% of each day is recycled choices from yesterday and before, if not more. Think about that for a moment. We're just recycling old because we're not yet ready. And again, please, we're not making ourselves wrong. There are things that we could do, obviously. But inviting questions for ourselves is always the most important. Stephanie mentioned going within. Excellent time. You don't even have to meditate. Just, first of all, if you haven't in a while, just try to get quiet. Don't even try to turn your thoughts off, but like detach from all forms of media and just sit for a little while. I like to go in the yard and stare at the top of the palm trees because they'll just move just enough to where my crazy mind sometimes is not all over the yard, but it helps me focus. And then I can contemplate a little easier about certain things that maybe where I'm feeling a little withered. Life is showing up in a circumstance that I'm not quite sure how it is serving me or if it's serving me. And so withering is not a repeat. It's not a failure. Withering is a signal that there's something ready to be unleashed, expressed within us. So every spiritual traditions, especially this time of year, we talk about letting go of the old, and of course then we talk into the season of lights, that we're talking about renewal. And in spiritual growth, this old idea, the old must die to bring in the new, but we tend to think when we say that, like let go of what's old, we tend to have these beliefs, limiting beliefs, that it has to be painful, it has to be uncomfortable. Okay? These are some of the things that we can go inside with and wrestle with and then choose to let go as well. Because change does not have to, there's no law that says change is slow, painful, dreadful, and so on. We may have experienced that in the past, and if we happen to just go in general communication, you're going to hear about everybody's struggle. If you turn on the news, you're going to hear about everybody's struggle. Okay? What we don't hear is crazy. If you go ask somebody, and this is what I've been doing lately at work, instead of saying good morning, I say, hi, what's new? What's good? And it throws them, because at first they just want to go, well, good morning, and then they realize that's not what I said. And I said, what's new? What's good? And then they have to think about it. And still some of them go, well, I woke up this morning, and they go into what's not good. It's a habit, is it not? Is there anything more powerful investing our time in than shifting the way we think about the most basic question in the morning? How are we doing? I know that it took me years since I would say good morning, and then say, hey, how's it going? And I always came with something negative without realizing it until I found this teaching. And it was something that I'll just say was probably brought up with wherever, whoever. And now I hear it, though. If they say, how's it going? I'll be like, As soon as I hear myself go, I'm like, whoa, big stop sign in my mind. Stop, right? And then gratitude. It's awesome. It's a good morning so far. Coffee's cooking. I can smell it. Just find that something to shift ourselves into this new growth. And this idea of being new birth, born again, Ernest Holmes says, we are born again of the Spirit when we let the old patterns fall away. And in essence, what is it? It's like we come to a top of a new hill that we haven't been to for a while because we've been holding ourselves down. So we have a brand new perspective of life. So in essence, we are reborn. You're literally seeing that. What quantum science is now saying too, quantum spirituality, and take this for what you will. This may be a little deep for some people, but I love the science and the science of mind. And we talk about dimension. We talk about vibrations. Energy is vibration. We talk about law of attraction. And they are now saying that we could possibly literally be shifting in and out of dimensions like multiple billions of times per second, knowing that there is no time, simply depending on your expectations and thoughts and beliefs. And that is why life seems to always align what we're thinking and feeling about, because we're literally shifting in. We go back to the, what's it called? The Mandela effect. Does everybody know what that is? So Nelson Mandela, this started back in, I'm going to say early 2000s, and I remember, so initially when I brought up, I was told, and I remember clearly that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Now, in this reality, we know he didn't. And I and hundreds of thousands of people know that's not what we were. And it wasn't like it was a lie. Like, I remember seeing it on the news. but now it's not. Now you're going to say, well, that you're just mistaken, but there's too many things, and you can look it up. It's fun because they'll say, remember this logo? Well, now the company will say that logo never existed. It always looked like this. Like Fruit of the Loom was one. Pepsi was one, or was it Coca-Cola, whatever. Anyway, what is the idea? The idea is we are literally in control of the joy, the love, the pain, the suffering that we experience it. It's our experience. So we need to own that. And if we can recognize that there are cycles in life that we go through, that it's okay, there's periods, even days, sometimes it's just a day or two, maybe it's a week or two, where we feel the need to withdraw, and that's okay. Because what are we doing? It's kind of like the tree shedding its leaves, right? You know, we have to kind of let go of some, in essence, dead weight for now, and build up our energy again. Same thing we do when we're having some kind of an illness. What do? We don't push ourselves, hopefully, through it. We give ourselves that rest that we need. We build up, we store back up, and allow ourselves to catch up to our own greatness. And so in spiritual journey, it's called dying to the old. I want to make sure that I am staying on top. Okay, we're doing good so far. All right. So what might that look like, dying to the old? It might look like letting go of an identity or a role that no longer serves us. It might look like releasing some of our old stories and habits that no longer serve us. Obviously, surrendering to outdated thinking, beliefs, paradigms. And it might look like stepping out of a comfort zone that has turned into more of a prison. Think about that for a minute. Are we really comfortable, or are we actually kind of trapped? And we're never really trapped, but we believe we are, right? And so if we consider the beautiful, I want to again point out Reverend Rachel is having fun with AI with our slides, and so they look beautiful. If we consider the life of a snake, when the snake, it comes time, right, we know that they shed their skin. And I didn't know this, but if they don't shed their skin, they will actually die. So what happens? It recognizes its own skin is becoming dry and crackly, and it rubs up against stones and rocks and stuff to assist it in shedding its skin and allowing what? The new layer of supple skin that has already begun to take its place to take life, to be expressed. Think about that, though. If a snake doesn't shed its skin, it literally dies. What are we doing to ourselves, possibly on a daily, a weekly basis, when we're refusing to shed that which we already know we have outgrown? And I don't know about you, but those of us that have had children, they are such beautiful mirrors for ourselves. I was doing it again and correcting my daughter at something. I'm trying to remember what it was. And then I heard my parents' voice saying the same thing to me. And I was like, I hated that. And then I'm like, ooh, that means I just shared that hate with someone. And so it's, life is a mirror, is it not? And so I recognize there's some skin I need to shed there. And I could say, it's just an old habit. But it's a habit that is not coming from a place of love. And we, if anything, are all about love here. So it invites us to use our spiritual practices. It invites us to practice the big S word, which is surrendering. Take that in, right? When life kind of causes us to feel too enveloped and we know we need to break free, it's about surrendering. And going back to that very first quote, recognizing that life, God's Spirit, is infinite, that it's intelligent, and it's always happening for our best and highest good, to me, that helps me take that step, that needed step, out of the comfort, starting to wither my way out of the skin, no matter what it may be, into the newness, into rebirth, so to speak, to awaken to new insights, to awaken to new wisdom, to allow in healthier relationships, I've been really focusing on my digestion lately, and I don't know if you've recognized it, but I recognize that answers seem to come quicker nowadays, and they're saying that it has a lot to do with consciousness, and that there's, in essence, to keep it simple, less interference. And so I was like, all right, I really need to figure out what's going on. And then it's amazing how just random videos show up for me on YouTube all about what I needed to know. And I'm like, I really did not want to fast for more than a day. I could do like a dinner to a dinner. I could do that. But I just finished a 3-day no-eat, just liquid diet. And I did it with ease. And it felt good. And then, right when I was completing that, the next video came up. I said, well, we could take this, and here's this, and try this. And so I tried it. And I'm feeling amazing so far. I'm feeling much more energized. I'm not feeling so bloated and heavy and so forth. And maybe it's just a cycle. But my point is, when we ask, it is given always. Are we looking for the answer? Do we feel worthy for the answer? Are we ready ourselves for this new expression to birth itself in and as and through us? Star Awesome Invocation reminded us there's only one life. It is God. We are of that. What does that technically mean? That technically means we are absolute, limitless expressions of the divine, technically. Now, we mess that all up in this thing called human experience, and that's the joy of living, and this never ends. That's the thing that sometimes frees me, this idea that infinite, because infinite's something that's kind of hard for our minds really to get a hold of. So it's about really the joy of becoming, the joy of the newness, the joy of shedding something that I know no longer serves me. And that can be scary in the sense of, but not scary in the essence of fear, but scary in the sense of we just don't know, and that's where our faith comes in. What do I know? I know that this truth that as I look back on my life, it has always been true. And now that I'm standing on a certain hill, I can see in the valley that it was always true even when I couldn't see it. Do you agree? Yes. And so what I'm basically saying then, in that dormancy period of our lives, in the struggle, there is a wisdom. And that wisdom is always on. That wisdom speaks our language. What do I mean by that? It means whatever the best and the highest way to answer you, it does. Over and over and over again. Until we choose to hear. It is a choice. Okay. And similar, going back to the bush that I was pruning, I also realized too that it's, beneath the ground. It's kind of like the iceberg, the reverse of the iceberg. Beneath the ground, things are stirring, things are building, things are accumulating, and then divine timing, divine wisdom, right? It's going to sleep until it's ready. Now, science asks that, just like when you plant a seed. How does it know when to grow, which way to grow, how to grow? Because it's all one expression. And so dormancy in our lives, again, does not mean we're necessarily stuck. It could be, but this is why it's important to take that time to go within and ask. Am I stuck? You can ask yourself, am I stuck, or am I just avoiding? Now, if you remember a month or two ago, Bill stood up here, we did the arm test, the energy arm test, but we don't have to do that. We know the feelings, our own feeling. If I ask myself a question, I'm going to get a ding on one and not so good of a ding on the other. You can't ignore it. It just is what it is. Dormancy does not mean you're lost. Dormant means that there is life beneath the surface waiting for its perfect time. And in our lives, what lies dormant might be a new talent that you've never expressed, or a talent that you know you have and you didn't express. For example, Sue, a great example. How long did she have that knowledge, that wisdom in her? How many times did it take you to actually get it out on paper and then push the publish button? It's like calling up the old girlfriend on the old phones. You get that last number, you're waiting. When they didn't have call waiting and you always got the dad, it was tough being a boy back then. Now you just text. You don't even have to look at them. But dormant growth means maybe it's a new spiritual awakening for you, whatever that means. I've had several the past couple weeks, and they're life-changing in the sense of ahas, and it's funny because it's something that I've heard 100, 1,000 times, but I hear it in a different way that just makes it meaningful. Like, for example, I was watching a video, and he was talking about, and you've heard me use this example all the time, that life is a movie, and it's the movie on the screen, and that's our circumstances, and the light is the divine with all this. And it's just the way that the gentleman explained it. I was like, dang, I needed to hear that today. I was open. I didn't know I needed it, but because Spirit is intelligent. Why is Spirit intelligent? Because it is who I am. It was perfect, and that's been happening over and over. That's what's available to each and every one of you, if we just say yes to it. So I want you to think about, maybe just take a breath, and what is within you, what is lying dormant that maybe wants to be expressed. And if something comes up for you, we have 3 practitioners and a minister who can take you in the back and pray and know that it is happening for your best and highest good. It's kind of like some spiritual fertilizer on your desire and dream. You like that? All right. All right, let me just make sure I get all the top points here. Yep. All right. All right, so the journey from crackle to supple does not mostly happen in a single leap. It is a cycle. It is a process. It is divine timing. We wither on the vine when nourishment or purpose has run out. Point 2, we shed and release what has completed its season. And again, this is a beautiful time energetically to shed. And beneath all of it, there is a wisdom that is waiting for its moment to release. And with that, we're going to now turn to a spiritual tool, which if you could click to our affirmation. There it is. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand, please. We're going to say it 2 times. One time just to get the words out, because we know words have energy, but we can also back them with emotion. So I'm going to be I'm going to read it real quick. Life is always evolving. Spirit is always renewing. I am always guided toward greater expression. So on the 3, 2, 1. Life is always evolving. Spirit is always renewing. I am always guided into greater expression. All right, take a breath. 3, 2, 1. Give it your best. Life is always evolving. Spirit is always renewing. I am always guided toward greater expression, and so it is. Be seated, please. So let me close this in prayer. Recognizing and knowing that all there is God, Spirit, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter because it is all there is. I call it love in this moment, and I recognize it as love. I feel it as love, and I choose to only see life from this perspective of love. I am so grateful for the love that is being expressed here through this celebration and this community always. I am grateful for this time of year to recognize those things that I and each one of us can do without. For I know there are areas in each one of our lives that could use some pruning. Pruning with love, with the knowledge that all is always well and perfect, because it is all of God. There is nothing outside of God. Evil does not in its own power. Evil is an experience that we choose to have when we turn off divine power, turn ourselves from it. And so what I know now is we are each living the highest and best expression of the divine right here and right now. I know that those that are maybe going through an illness or a dis-ease, we recognize that there is just a dormant phase and that they have all the energy and healing that they need. And yet we also recognize there are divine cycles of life and what we call death. But we recognize there's no real death. It's just transformation of love into a new expression of love. And so we welcome it all because we recognize one and only one. We are grateful for this season of withering, this season of newness, this season of restoration. This community is storing up, and it's no longer dormant. This community is in pure growth mode right now. As I'm just grateful for the new friends that have walked through this door today and will continue to. I'm grateful for those that continue to serve us with their thoughts, their prayers, their talents, their tithe. And I am grateful that tomorrow brings yet another expression of love divine. And so it is. Thank you. No, I have to remember what we were doing. I'm out of order. Song, correct? Oh, yes. I had a special request. I think it's perfect for our topic. And Ellen, take it away.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll recognize this. Please sing along. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your heart to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. It's a heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies a seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes a rose. Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow lies a seed that with the sun's glow in the spring becomes the rose.
Beautiful. A beautiful segue. And then we're going to segue into our opportunity to give and share. And so if you're a regular, you understand the ways. And just to remind everybody, we have a giving bowl on the side there, but we do practice the law of giving and receiving, so there are affirmation cards over there. And we ask that you, as you give, you receive. Practice the affirmation on the card, and when you feel like you need to shed that one, pass it along and share the wisdom with somebody else. If you've already given online or whatnot, we thank you already in advance, and we simply ask you to go ahead and receive the affirmation card. We have an affirmation that we like to give before we, or to say before we give, and I'm going to ask us that we say this together. I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means, and so it is. All right, we're going to have an instrumental while we practice our giving. Thank you.
Now it's not an instrument. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
All right, we're going to have Charles come up. I ask that you, if you want to join me, I like to outstretch my hands because it's fun, directing the power to the presence that is truly everywhere, and it expresses itself in all, and money is a divine expression of its givingness to and fro, give and take, and we are grateful for all that we receive. We know that it does good work, not only in our community, but knowing that we tithe the home office, and we also tithe to the local area, to nonprofit organizations that serve our greater community. So as we give, others receive, and so do we in multiplicity. God is good and always good, and so it is. Thank you. And it feels like it was so long ago, but I do want to say last week I was up here on Saturday for the life celebration of Julie Atkins Smith, Charles' wife. And for those of you that showed up, thank you so much. We had an amazing showing. The room was full of family and friends and our community. And just continue to hold her and him in your thoughts and prayers, please. Yeah, it was, it's so great to be a part of a loving community that that is always showing up at its best. So thank you for that. Please remember that we have two more in-person services. Strike that, celebrations, not services. And so next week, we're going to be visited by the Grinch, so please show up. Children are more than welcome, and we're going to have a good time. As I said before, Mark Boggs is going to be our special musical talent of the day, and he's going to be staying afterwards while we enjoy our food to help us sing some and do some caroling and some festivities that way. So please join us. And then the regular scheduled fourth week, Reverend Rachel will be back to, she will be here next week as well. We're kind of all doing, so her, myself, and all the practitioners are doing the celebration next week. So please join us for that. I think that was it. Potluck. Yes, don't feel free to bring. We will have some things. I'm bringing stuff. Everybody's bringing stuff. If you cannot, just bring yourself. That's quite all right. At this time, I do want to call up the practitioners. Please don't leave with a heavy heart. If you have anything that is on your mind, your soul, your beingness, again, we have the area in the back to assist you with what we call laser prayer or miracle minutes, however you want to call it. The idea is just tell them, what is the issue? I'm experiencing pain, or I'm asking assistance prayer for so-and-so. Whatever it may be, a new job, more money, a better relationship, and we are going to go right to the heart of the matter, which is not that. And I'm more than happy to do so as well. So I'm going to ask if you would like to stand and join hands. I don't know if we have enough people to encircle, but come on up here. We can make a long connection if that works.
We can conga too.
Be the snake. Yeah, there you go. All right, Alan, take it away.
Let there be peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me.
Namaste, blessings. Have a beautiful week.